What is rebirthing? And why is rebirthing the need of the hour today? Let's explore first the concept of rebirthing. Rebirthing is the idea that we allow our old self to die, and like the phoenix rising from the ashes, we come out reborn, new, alive, fully vital, fully energetic. Assumption is that the old self has become redundant. Either the times have changed and we are not able to keep in pace with the times, and hence we have become redundant. I don't mean we in the sense of we, just us physically. I mean the ideas that we carry, the values that we carry, the programs that we carry, the operating system that we carry has become redundant. It's no more serving us in the changed times. The times have changed and we have not kept pace with the times. Second concept is that all our programs, our beliefs, our attitudes, our emotional memories, all of these have corrupted our being. Like a computer, which is being used over a long period of time, needs to be maintained. Like a home that we live in needs to be spring cleaned, where all the old things accumulated junk has to be thrown out and everything cleaned and a fresh coat of paint done and fixes done, so that it's again looking new and brand new and functioning in every sort of way. So rebirthing is exactly that, is allowing your old self to die, to dissolve, to be buried. Your ego is buried. Your thoughts, your ideas, your values, your beliefs, your programs, all of these are put away and they're burnt, so that when you emerge from these ashes like the phoenix, you are completely new and you are completely rebooted, refreshed, reinvigorated, reinvented. Now, the concept of rebirthing is not new to our current civilization or to the current uh, New Age spiritual societies. The concept of rebirthing is as ancient as history itself. Let me give you some examples. Ancient tribes in the Amazon had this concept of rebirthing at different stages of a man or a woman's life. So when a boy is ready to take on the task of being a man, or a man is ready to become a chief of the tribe, he has to undergo a very grueling, a very challenging task, so that when he comes through clean from the task, he finally can become what he chooses to become. Uh, he is sent off to the jungle to find this very rare herb or a root that he has to go fight against all things by himself, and he finds that root and he brings it back and he consumes it and makes a portion out of it. The druid or the village elder makes a portion out of it. He drinks it like the ayahuasca, and he has to go through physical agony. He has to go through mental, emotional agony, where he has to purge all that he has accumulated in the past. He has to purge all the emotional turmoils. He has to purge all of this out of his system through this consumption of this herb. And when he finally comes out of it, he becomes a brand new person. He is reborn. The The Spartans, you must have seen the movie 300, where a band of 300 people, Spartans, brave men, courageous men, bold and strong men, who fend off a huge army of Persians attacking them with all kinds of armory and machines, who have conquered everything. But to conquer these group of 300 men takes them. Uh, they put up such a fight that they really shake the army apart. Now, these Spartans had a ritual where they send off a boy who is to become a man into a jungle before he becomes a warrior, a respected person of the Spartan community where heroism meant everything, was the biggest virtue and value. He is put off into the jungle as a boy. When he is a boy, for years and years, he is meant to fend for himself without armory, without being armed with anything. He's just meant to fight with the elements, with the wild animals, learn how to survive. And if he survives it, when he makes his way back to his family or to his clan, then he is looked at as a completely new person, a person reborn, a man is looked at with different eyes. Similarly, in Islam, when a person is meant to become a spiritual being, then he goes to a pilgrimage to the Hajj, to the Kaaba, where he leaves behind his family, he leaves behind his personal belongings, his ego, he shaves off his hair, he dons a different costume, and for a month, for a period of many days, he makes his journey to the Mecca, to the Kaabatullah, and he goes through many different ceremonies and rituals and prayers and cleansing. And ultimately, when he's back, he is conferred the title of a Haji, a person who is a spiritual elder. And the tribe looks up to him with respect to make judgments, to make decisions for them. Similarly, in Hinduism, you go to the river Ganges, you take a dip in it, and in the dip, when you take a dip in it, all your sins are meant to be wiped clean, and you emerge a new person. So, our ancestors, our different civilizations, different cultures, all of us have different ways of looking at this term rebirthing. Like in Christianity, baptism is the idea of being reborn into a Christian. A man dies when he is dipped in water, and the holy water is meant to, he's put in it, and when he is in it, he is dead, and when he emerges out of it, he is a new person who owes his allegiance to Christianity, to following the path of Jesus Christ, and so on and so forth. So every religion in the past, every civilization, every tribe, every culture has had different ways of approaching this concept of rebirthing. Now, rebirthing is quite simply, as you know, letting go of your past, which is not serving you, and merging completely fresh and new. In New Age spiritual cycles, one of the techniques of rebirthing is going to a Vipassana. Vipassana is when you go for 10 days into this place, which is very sparse, like a hermit, with very minimal belongings. You sleep in basic places. You eat very basic food, bland basic food. You don't use your electronic devices. You have no entertainment. You have no conversations. It's completely silent. You're not thinking of things. You're just in meditation and in quietness. And in this space, after you come out of it, you're meant to feel like a baby once again. Now, what happens in that space is that all the programs that are running in your brain, all the neural networks that you have in your being, just dissolve and crash, because you don't do anything that you do in your regular life when you go into a Vipassana. It's all completely wiped out clean. And when you emerge from a Vipassana, you feel like a baby, a child, reborn, refreshed. The problem is that you spring back to your old programs and your old self, because you come back, and the moment you come back, you take your mobile phone, you do the same things, you talk to the same people, you go back to the same job, you go back to the same home, you go back to the same surroundings, the same thinking, the same television screen, the same car, and then poof, back again. All your programs come back, which were meant to be dissolved and deleted, come back to you. So, in our context, rebirthing is looked at quite intensely and deeply. I do believe that for all of us, there is this point which we call as the Gestalt switch in management language, a point where a tipping point where things change. Like you have a curve that goes up, and there is at one point, the tipping point, and after that you go down, or your direction changes. Now that tipping point or the Gestalt switch is what we try and press when we work with people on the concept of rebirthing. We use techniques of breathing, we use techniques from sacred geometry, use of symbols, sacred geometry symbols to enable a certain shift. We use methods of vipassana, and we use many different cleansing and working with our energy to create a context, a situation where we completely come out of it as reborn, refreshed, reinvigorated as a new person. Right? So, rebirthing, quite simply, is a concept of letting go of the past, allowing for a new future to be, embracing a new future. So, a point where the old just dissolves and the new is just born. Now, why is rebirthing very important to us in our current context? We know that in this year 2020, cataclysmic changes are happening to our ecosystem, our environment, our relationships, the way we are doing business, the way we are enacting our lives due to new viruses that are being born. Now, to handle such a sudden shift in our ecosystem or in the cosmic energies, we need to reboot ourselves. If we have this feeling today of being left out, of feeling dissatisfied, of being disillusioned or frustrated, then we know quite simply that the energy that we are carrying is not in consonance with what is happening outside of us. Nature is always in consonance. The cosmic balance always exists. The world is always in balance. It's we who fall out of balance with the world. If we feel disconnected, it is we who fall out of balance with the world. Exactly why it is necessary for us to re-examine our values, to look at where we stand, to let go of our energies, and then shift into a space where we harmonize ourselves to whatever there is that is happening in the cosmos, the cosmic changes. We come in alignment. Our energies comes in alignment with what is happening outside, and hence we shift from being in a space of frustration to a space of being in abundance. We shift from a space of being in dissatisfaction and dissonance to that of consonance. This is the idea of rebirthing. Also, it is said that every 7 years one needs to reinvent oneself, because the programs that you've used as a boy from 0 to 7 years don't apply when you start your adolescent years from 7 to 14 years. Now, 14 years, the programs that you use, the beliefs that you use, the actions that you use from 7 to 14 don't apply anymore when you start to become an adult, a teenager from 14 onwards to 21 years. At 21 years, again, you have to reinvent yourself as a youth from 21 to 28. So we all need to look at ourselves, have a critical relook at ourselves every once in a way. so that we can bury our past and embrace the future. So we are reborn as a child, full of vitality, full of wonder, and full of happiness and joy bursting forth, so that we can live our futures in a beautiful way. There are a series of videos that I'm going to come up with in due course of time in the coming weeks on rebirthing, on why we need to uh, go to a rebirthing, what are the different methods that can be used so that we can rebirth, we can be reborn, rebooted. All of these are coming up in the coming weeks. What I would like you to do now is to click on the subscribe button and the bell icon so you can be informed of the forthcoming videos that are coming up on rebirthing and many more such topics. Till then, much love, hugs, and I will see you all in my next video.